So back to the business aspect of this.
Yes.
Do you bill half up front, half at the end? Do you have a monthly billing cycle? How do you normally on these group things get remunerated?
What I normally do is just say, if we can, payment up front, let's get going and moving. If we have situations with companies and cash flow is strapped, I get it, right? I am more about helping you find success in your company. I'm more about the people that are working for you. If I find a way to make it work, I find a way to make it work. So that's what I tell them. You know what? Nothing's off the table. We figure it out. And that's what I do.
But your perfect scenario is all up front.
If we can, all up front, we get it up front, because I know that once they start, they're not going to stop. They're hungry. They come back the next month. Everybody shows up. It's a commitment, right? So everybody comes back every month.
And then I can see that that's true because, you said something earlier, and it is so true. I mean, especially, well, I don't know especially or not, but in the sales industry, I don't care if you are a baby in the business or you've been in the business for years and years and years.
Yep.
You beg for training. When there's training available, you want it.
Yes.
You can't get enough of it. Training is, gosh, you said something about that earlier, that once you get it, you don't want to give it up.
Yeah, they don't.
When you make it available, people want it.
So how do they transition? Let's say you do a 6-month tour of duty. Company says, yeah, great. But the company says, look, we're done, but the ladies or your group members want to keep. Have you ever had people private pay or come together?
I do. And I also have women who don't want their companies to know that they're even doing it, right? So you've got that too, right? But if you've got women who are bold enough and confident enough to say, you know what, I'm a high performer, I want to give more, but I've got to, I really want something. I want you to support me because I'm going to bring back tenfold what I'm learning here. Are you willing to support me? The answer is yes or no. Right.
Yeah,
so then you negotiate. And I teach people to negotiate. Okay, well, maybe not full, but how about half? How about you do half and I do half, right? If they say no to that, well, then how about if I do 3/4 and you do 1/4? You just keep going, right? You got to figure out what your bad is. You got to negotiate it out, and if it comes down to, that's one thing that's a difference between men and women. I see more men, I think it's changing, but men are very much more adept at saying, I am going to invest in that for myself. And women are like, you know what, that's too much. I'm not going to do that. But yet then they turn around and they're suffering, right? Which is what's happened, because we see this huge statistics of, 3 million women have stepped away from, the workforce in these last couple of years because nothing's changed.
Right.
Nothing's changed, but it's not other people's fault. It's really around how they want to approach what they want and what they need. And that's the missing piece. We have to own that. We all have to own that. It's not somebody else's fault. It's just the way life is given us. And you've got to be able to step in confidence, but you've got to do it with other people who say, you know what, Bruce, I agree with you. Wayne, you know what? I think you're right too. Yeah, let's change this. And the ideas, it's almost like design thinking and diagnostic thinking all wrapped in one, because we all come up with more like you know what? It's all good. High five it.
A mastermind group of sorts with the people in the group. But
it is.
Well, and the fact that you have one thing I like, and I'm kind of the same kind of person, is that on-call person. It doesn't matter when someone is contacts me, Bruce, I just need to start billing people more, because I'm doing this coaching stuff that I had a guy call me today. He came by my house a few weeks ago selling insurance. Nice young kid, got a new baby. Good kid, good wife. She's got a master's degree, but she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. So he called me today and he said, Wayne, do you have a few minutes? I'd like to talk about some things. And he's stuck. And so, but I would take that call anytime,
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of, I think, being an on-call coach when you're in
Yes.
coaching. Now,
Yeah.
versus counseling is a little different. You have to
Well, yeah.
these
Well,
structures.
that is different. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
then actually the women, I worked 6 years in a women's prison, federal prison, and that was enough. And then in the coaching thing, I would get hired. Women terrorize other women
Yes.
inside companies. There's a lot of bullying,
Yep.
texting,
Oh, I've
Yep.
seen
the hate speech among women.
Yep.
It's like a them too, but they are savages. And and I'd get called in to kind of break up these fights or these inappropriate text exchanges or displays of anger between females. You think it's different. I mean, nobody's beating each other's ass or anything with fists, but
Yes.
I mean, these couple of bottles of wine and an iPhone. Those are weapons.
Well, they are, and
anyway.
behind every bad behavior is a hurting person, and that's what we have to realize is that it doesn't look that way. So that person who's being the nasty one on the outside really has something really deeper. And if we can just hold just a little bit of care and love for that person, if you're triggered, you got to just step back and not do anything, but you got to step back into that conversation because they're hurting people, right? And that's, if you can see them for that and realize that, you know what, outside of every bad behavior, there's a really good situation out of that. And you guys got to figure out how to get there. And you got to step in and step with confidence because you care about that relationship.
Because these people don't play well together sometimes in these coaching groups. And man, I'm quick to pick up on that. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to break this up into dyads or whatever. And then just, get the work done and not go through the drama of it. But that's me being older and less patient. Anyhow, but you know what I'm going to say? I love from a business aspect, that is a great model. You're looking at a 6 month engagement, multiple people, multiple hours during the month.
Yeah.
And if you add that on-call element, which I'm sure can be monetized. So good for you, man. That's a
thank you.
That is a
thank
nice. You. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Thank you.
I don't even want to guess what the billable hour is on that, but I can guess. It's double digits for sure, and hopefully it is. And if not, come see me. But seriously,
I probably should come see you. Because, I think for most of my...
Wayne, by the way, or Wayne. But,
just kind of picking this up. You want to create impact, right? You want to create your brand. And once you finally step back and say, I have this huge something I can really give to people just based out of my experience and then going through, going back to school and saying, you know what, no one's really got it right yet, but I think I do. I really believe I do. I truly...
No, your work has merit and value, and I know sometimes coaches that are early on, myself, their own self-worth gets into question, but then you supply and demand pricing. I know and I say this almost every show, but I'll say it here without shame. June, July are Bruce Cameron discount months. I mean to tell you what, you get a hold of Bruce Cameron for pennies on the dollar, particularly in July. Just what I mean? Things are kind of calm down. Everybody's home for summer. Bruce is still working. Like, what's up, man? You got a Kmart blue light special. Runs for a couple. It's okay though.
It's so funny. Yeah, that's kind of why I built it up front because when I look at women, women and men, they want to take a vacation in the summer. So it's got to take July off, and we usually take December off because those are family times, right? So if we can give those back and make sure that, you're checking in when you come back, but it feels like it's been a century when you get back together.
We're going to run out of time. And I got to ask.
We are.
I got to mention something real fast.
7 minutes. 6
Dina,
minutes.
You've given me a lot, and I owe you already. I owe you, and I hope I get an opportunity to pay you back.
Oh, thank you.
But what you've given me, Bruce, I want to mention this while Dina's on the call, is we should somehow or another consider forming a group like with Dina and other people of this stature to have a roundtable discussion about things, because These are challenges.
Right.
And I know we have a radio show where we just have one person on here.
Oh yeah.
They have a round table because, the things that you run into,
Yes.
it's great. It's just the same people in the same thing
Yes.
can share. Really, Dina, you don't know what you've given me. I really.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
just-
you.
No, it's thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have a co-author, Sharon Weinstein, that if you ever want to do a roundtable, we're doing a book called Think Differently.
I love it.
And we have taken the culmination of all of the women and our stories personally and stories of women around the world. We have to protect their integrity and we don't share names, but some things around situations. What do we do? And how do you get out of where you are? And we're going to launch it in the summer. So,
Wow.
we're excited. It's taken me a long time because I felt guilty about writing it. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to share stories because these are women who may not be able to write their story, but I can sure tell their story, but protect them at the same time.
Yeah, no, the one thing that we don't have like we used to have is time. And so you can't waste it. And so, yeah, if you have a book on your heart and you need to get that book out there and so no, man, get it out there. And Wayne's right. I mean, we've, Concierge Coaches has been on since 2016. We've had a plethora, many, coaches, and it would be fun, Wayne, to get some sort of a consortium together.
Just have a good time. I mean, just put it up for nothing else except a good,
I love that.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
Well, we're here to change the world, and that's what I'm hoping. I feel like I'm on the latter part of my life. I want to leave the thumbprint of something that's going to create impact for others because I truly do care about them. And if everybody misses that, then I haven't presented myself well, but that's truly my heart.
I'm looking for these words. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You've done well. So
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate this. What an honor to be here with both of you, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, definitely want to have you come back again, and once your book gets published, please let me know. I'd love to promote your book, help you promote your book on.
Thank you.
On
we'll
the
need
show
all the help we can get.
and everything else.
Yep, and we'll have a workbook that goes along with it. So the book and the workbook,
that's
the
even
workbook
better.
is the strategies that come out of the book and the experiences. So it tells you exactly how to optimize leadership and team performance.
Looking forward to it. Well, great.
Awesome.
Well, Dina, thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. And real quick, if you didn't already, I had a little glitch here, but can you tell our viewers how they can reach you?
Yes. So please send me an email. It's Dina, DINA at ACE coaching co.com. So Dina at acecoachingco.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. So
Ace Coaching.
Perfect.
Yes.
Great.
That's acecoaching.com.
Yeah, CO. You got a C on the end. Dina at acecoachingco.com. Yep. Short for company. All right. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing my story and my life. I really appreciate the work you're doing behind that and creating change for the world. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome very much. So, folks, there it is. Another fantastic episode of the Concierge Coaches Show here today on LA Talk Radio. Again, the shows are archived at the latalkradio.com site. You just click on our show, and then our bios are there, and right underneath are all the shows. You can download the MP3, you can view the video, or you can download the video. Also, all of our shows are on Apple Podcast, and they are also on iHeartRadio, iHeartMedia. So definitely multiple platforms to be able to see today's show and all of our prior shows. And of course, don't forget to come by our social media at concierge_coaches on Instagram. We have a Facebook, of course, Concierge Coaches Show on Facebook. And Wayne, how can folks reach you?
Well, Bruce, they can still get me at Wayne_515 @yahoo.com.
All right. Good faithful email there. Outstanding. And of course, I can be reached on conciergecoach.net. So with that, we'll bid everybody farewell. We'll see you here next week. And we'll see you next time here on the Concierge Coaches Show on LA Talk Radio. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
You're listening to the Concierge Coaches Show with Bruce Cameron and Wayne